Oh yeah, real lifers, what is going on? Today, I have a really awesome and exciting lesson on coulda, woulda, and shoulda. So coulda, woulda, and shoulda are actually the contractions of could have, would have, and should have. Could have contracts into could've and coulda. Should have becomes should've and shoulda. And would have becomes would've and woulda. Now, while many people will tell you this is totally colloquial, slang, not correct, we actually use this in everyday language. We use this in presentations in all formal and informal English situations. You cannot, however, use this in formal writing. It's okay to use shoulda, coulda, and woulda in informal text messages or chats. So coulda, woulda, and shoulda, or also the pronunciation of could have, would have, and should have, are used across the English language in a variety of senses. But today, to start with, I wanted to focus on coulda, woulda, shoulda as an expression. This expression really helps us understand why shoulda, coulda, and woulda are known as the modals of lost opportunity. We all know people who need to hear this expression, the people who always lament or complain or cry about lost opportunities. They imagine their lives in what could have been, in what should have been, and what would have been. The people who always live life in terms of thinking about lost opportunities, who always live in the hypothetical, who always say, oh, I could have done better if I had studied harder, or I should have done this, or if I had only known, I would have done this. So coulda, woulda, shoulda is more like, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you didn't. So let's get down to action. Let's change our lives now. Okay, now let's look at the crazy pronunciation of coulda, shoulda, woulda. How do we get coulda from could've? Or shoulda from should've? Or woulda from would've? Or what about a lotta from a lot of? Well, the truth is, this is a rule. It's a tendency, it's a pattern that happens across all Native American, especially, connected speech. Okay, so the pattern is, whenever we have the of, which is present in the word of, or the VE contraction with have on many words, like could've, it's reduced to And you see this in coulda from could've, or woulda from would've, or shoulda from should've. But you also see this in other words, like for example, a lot of becomes a lotta. One of these becomes one of these. I'm out of here becomes I'm out of here. Okay, so if that wasn't crazy enough, things are about to get really crazy with the negative forms of would not have, should not have, and could not have, which become wouldna, shouldna, and couldn't. So to understand how you can take could not have and make it couldn't, you have to understand how this reduces, how this contracts on different levels. On the first level, could not have, you can easily make this into a contraction. I couldn't have. I couldn't have. If you look at couldn't have, you have that NT contraction, which is similar to, for example, how native speakers use internet and how we reduce that to internet. So couldn't have easily becomes couldn't have. And as I was just explaining with woulda, coulda, and shoulda, the v sound is often reduced to So couldn't have easily becomes couldn't. So in this sense, all these contractions, it's the same thing. The pronunciation on this one is not as simple as shoulda, coulda, and woulda, but let me actually give you some examples now for you to practice and imitate me. So, for example, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. He couldn't have done that. He couldn't have done that. Oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. On a final note, I really want to encourage you to open your ears and open your perception to the way that native speakers really speak in the TV shows, the movies, the music you listen to, and these YouTube videos. Notice how we cut our words, how we connect them, how we reduce them. This is much different than you learned in the grammar books, and it's going to constantly change. So liberate yourself from the way that you expect native speakers to speak and have fun paying attention and open your mind to the way that we really do speak in real life. If you dug this lesson, I really encourage you to give it a like, give it a share, and if you find this channel valuable, subscribe. It really helps us get the word out. Also, if you want to go deeper into some of these awesome pronunciation lessons, then we have a really great, awesome 3-part mini course using some really dynamic, hilarious friend scenes to teach you exactly what we learned today. Yeah.